Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hello and welcome. We are so excited today. We have our Tuesday marketing broadcast. And Nicholus, I am so stoked because you're talking about one of my favorite subjects. We're going to have fun today. So welcome.
Oh, thanks.
So are we ready? We've got Kingdom Warriors out there. Hey, y'all. We've got the Prepared Group. We've got the rest of our Giver Marketing Network. So we've got lots of fun people out there. So feel free to say hey. But we are going to have a great time because we're not just talking about anything, right? We're talking animation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Video, like cool, like things, action figures, kind of fun stuff, right? So this is a fun space. And if anybody's ever tried to play with video and you've never done it before, you're like, oh man, this is rough, right? But it always turns out so cool when you get somebody doing it who knows what they're doing. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say today, Nicholus. I really am.
Oh, thank you so much, Christine. I'm really glad that I get to be here. Yeah, I love animation. I've been working on it for how many years now?
I don't know. Tell us a little bit about it. How long have you been working on this? Tell us about your origin story.
Yeah. So one day I was working at a Napa Auto Parts. I was a dispatcher, and I would just basically send trucks and deliver auto parts. And I was just getting cussed out on the phone because parts weren't showing up on time. And then I also got a plaque that had like a 5-year, meant I had been there 5 years. And I was like, that's it. I need to do something else.
You answered phones and dispatched trucks for 5 years, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then actually a little longer because on that plaque, I actually carved "work harder" and I put it on my desk. And so then I went back to school. I got a degree in animation, and I had my son. And that got even more complicated to finish the degree and work and all that stuff. And originally I had planned on going to like a studio and getting a 9-to-5, but you have to move to do that. And so that I was like, I got to find a different way. And in doing that, I started networking and I started meeting a whole bunch of people. I was able to land some pretty amazing contracts. I got super, it feels like miracles after miracles of contracts that people just come alongside me and going, I believe in you. Let's do this. And so I was able to work with PlayStation 4 themes and avatars. I did all kinds of design work, album covers, websites, animations for some videographers in the area, and like compositing. A lot of it started gearing towards like CGI and 3D animation and motion graphics and things like that. And and we did an NFT launch with Kingdom Warriors. I was their lead artist on that project. We sold out 8,888 NFTs, which is pretty amazing. I was able to write algorithms to composite all the images. It was super fun. So
it sounds very complicated. If you haven't played in this space, you probably named about a dozen words and people are like, what? What does that even mean, right?
It's true. Like I've taught students as well, and I don't realize how complicated it is because, you just once your fingers get used to the way things move, you're like, oh yeah, this is the problem. And then you get someone new in there and you're like, wait, you don't know about this? And the next thing you know, there's like 100 things you have to teach them.
Right. And I imagine, we have things that we all have, skills and things that we're good at. Right. And so to us, they seem normal. Right. But
Yeah.
for somebody new, it's like, what did you even say? I have no idea. Right. So I'm hoping through your presentation today, you're going to actually, show us what you're talking about too. So maybe we have a better understanding for it. But, are we all going to be fantastic designers by the end of the show?
No, most of it's probably just going to be like, well, do I need an animation? And it's kind of answering those for someone because a lot of people, I don't think, realize that, one, some of them think they need it and they really don't. And I've had clients, I'm like, why are you even doing this? And then I have other clients where I'm like, why aren't you going big? Like, your product's amazing. Like, we could blow this up. And they just they can't catch the vision. And so
right. I can see with your experience, then you're going to be able to tell, hey, this is a good time to push this or this,
Yeah.
That's the beauty of having an expert in the room, right?
It's true. It's very true.
Well, I know you had some slides ready, and I was just thinking, you want to hit the presentation on that?
Let's do it.
All right. So tell us about this.
I mean, this is me. You kind of got the history lesson of who I am, but I'm the CEO of Ember Empire. That's my company name. I got a bachelor's in media arts and animation, which I'm pretty stoked about. I love animating and draw. I actually did like 2D animation for a while, and I've done all kinds of types, 3D, 2D. Yeah, you can even see it in like projects lists. I've been doing digital art for well over 15 years. I think the slide is old. We might have pushed 20, which feels weird to say.
Right. There's times you're like, that was just, that wasn't just yesterday anymore.
A year or two ago, it probably was right, but we might have hit 20 by this point.
Oh, goodness.
I know. So digital, like I've been doing digital paintings since I think I was like 12 or 13. So yeah, 20 years. And so, I did PlayStation 4 themes and avatars. Loved that gig. I was sad to see them go with the PlayStation 5. I've done logo designs, storyboards, animations, both 2D and 3D, album covers. I actually have one printed right here. You want to see?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
This is live TV right here,
No, I forgot I could present like this. You'll see the art later in my slides. Hold on.
Oh, you probably have to put it in front of you. You got the
face.
blurred background. Put it right in front of you.
Oh, yes. Here, let me unblur it. Maybe you can see my messy closet. Maybe.
We see one little piece at a time. And your background's blurred, so the front's blurred too.
Remove. Oh, settings. And none. Okay, so here it is.
There we go.
And then I got to design.
All right. Well, hold on. I'm gonna take down the slide so we can see that up close. There we go.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It's called Beyond Stars. So I met this guy. He did our PlayStation 4 themes and did all the like beautiful music for him. And then he hired me to get all of this like painted and designed, and we got to put it on some vinyl, which was pretty exciting. And
how old is this
vinyl.
project?
Huh?
You just said vinyl. How old is this project?
Vinyl's still in. Did you know that?
See, there you go. You wait long enough, it comes back. See, now I never saw purple ones back in the day, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I had a blast. I'm excited. I want to get it framed eventually on those like fancy frames, you know?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Put your work up on the wall, right?
Heck yeah.
I love that. Well, so I see you've got other things. So album covers, concept. Yeah. What is concept art?
Concept art would be oftentimes people have ideas, but they're team builders, you know? And if you're a team builder and you have an idea, you need other people to catch the vision. And if you're not able to I used to have more concept art before AI, but basically I would sketch it out, paint it, and you would have an idea and be like, oh, this is what I'm picturing. And then people, would
Yeah,
normally
because then you have something
click
you can
on.
take to show other people because they can't crawl inside your head.
I,
That
s-
makes sense.
I still do marketing concept arts. So I've done, so someone wanted to push a certain type of beverage. And so I was able to 3D render it on cans, and we were able to put like a really beautiful commercial together for some marketers who were trying to get investors in their idea. And that was pretty fun.
Yeah, because there's always new businesses, new projects,
Mm.
new products, right? So somebody's got to put that into something solid that you can show for potential investors. Makes sense to me. I love it.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. I was able to, all kinds of projects. Like I've done 3D ranges. I 3D modeled Chinese ranges that you would see in like Panda Express. And then we did like renders of them, of like a camera flying over them for like beauty shots. Because it can be cheaper to 3D model it and render it nowadays than to take something that big and stick it in a studio. Because studios will charge you like what,
Yes. Studio
hundreds of
time can
hours?
get expensive. Yeah.
And then you need cameras, you need crew, you need lights, you need breaks that you're paying the studio for. Like it's strange. I was shocked when the guy's like, "That's way cheaper." I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "That's one of my selling points."
Absolutely. So you've got this massive background and experience in all this creative space, right? What are we focusing on today? What are we going to show everybody?
Yeah. So today it's more about animation, and
Okay.
hopefully by the end of this, you will understand whether an animation would benefit you, even like down the road. Like if your business starts growing and you can afford one, I know they can get a little pricey, especially if you want them to look like, and not like you just copy and pasted something from Avanto, And but yeah, let's take a look. So let's talk about the advantages of animation, and it's going to kind of determine whether if it would really benefit you at all, right?
Well, so let's define animation. When you're talking about animation, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so it would be anything that's not someone shooting it with a camera. So like if it's moving on a screen and they're not looking at it through a camera, which
All right.
that's
So
not
all the
technically
websites
true.
we see where things are moving,
Yeah.
right? Anytime something moves and then it's on like some kind of screen.
Yeah, if it's not an actual human being and it's
So that's a
moving,
lot of area. Okay.
yeah, it's all over the place now. Like your phone devices will, like, whenever they pop something on, they have an animation that pops in. Uh, yeah, there's tons of stuff that is animation. When you click a button on a website, it changes colors. That's technically an animation. Yeah, so tons of stuff.
Okay, so we have all these different uses now. So now we know what it is and we can use it. All right, I'm just going to let you run. Go for it, Nicholus.
Awesome. Yeah. So animation advantages. I think the biggest thing is to tell a story, right? And it seems kind of intuitive. You can tell stories in so many different ways. Some of my later points are going to really narrow whether it's going to be useful for you. But if you're not telling a story with a video, it's a dead video. We'll just leave it at that. Like, people love stories. They love getting drawn in. They love learning things, knowing people, and all that stuff. I think you might be the expert on that side, Christine, with how you interact with people, and even like generating narratives for people's businesses so that it's more welcoming and more cared for and loved and stuff like that. The second thing is you can bring clarity to things that aren't really clear. And I'm going to have a pretty good example. Like sometimes two people can look at one thing and not come away with the same conclusion. and animation can help bring clarity to those types of things. There's a sense of prestige that comes with animation, largely because of its price tag. But if you look at poor animation and you can kind of tell the difference. Look at like old movie intros and stuff. You could tell. And so, yeah, prestige can make a big difference in whether someone trusts you, because if you are excellent in the small things, I believe that you are instilling trust in others that you're going to be excellent with their things, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay, good. Sometimes it makes sense in my brain, and then I say words and people are looking at me with like blank stares.
Nope, we got you. See the comments in chat. I could see people were falling around. They hear
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, I think a big thing that I do is visualize complex ideas. If you just talk abstractly, like I was just doing, if you have something that's moving and like illustrating it, it makes such a difference.
Like the whiteboards, right? Where they did the whiteboard animation thing. That would be animation, right?
That
Those
would
were
be
all the
animation.
rage there for a little while.
100%. Yeah, that is 100% animation, and I love those things. They're so they like draw me, and largely because I like drawing, and I'm like, how are they gonna draw that? Like, what would I think in order to represent, I don't know, the tyranny of fascism? You know, you're like, and then they draw this beautiful picture, and I'm like, that's brilliant.
So did you create those also, or?
Yeah, I definitely can. They're way down my alley. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to. I don't know if they're as much in now. Like they used to be in, you know.
Hey,
like
you still see them once in a while, and there's people that really still love them. So I think they're still going to stick around for a while. I think, kind of like that vinyl that you had up earlier.
Right? I know. I was shocked. I'm like, it's going on what? And they're like, yeah, vinyl. I'm like, all right.
Hold on, it comes back around, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, it's true. I was told that fashion does the same thing.
That's right. You know, hold on to the really strange plaid jacket, and you know, you never know. Another 30 years, you can wear it again.
Yeah, 100%.
Which goes right into build the hype.
Right? So true. I think so. Like, images are beautiful and they can tell beautiful stories. They can't build hype though. Like they capture a single moment and they do it wonderfully if done right. But like to pull someone in to like this moment is a different story. And so well, let's take a look at some examples. Like first, this tells a story, right? One, it is one of my greatest fears, and I get to tell that live, I guess. I watched Harry Potter, and he just like floated away. It's been one of my greatest fears. Like, what are you going to grab onto? You can't grab onto a cloud. You know, you got nothing. I don't know why.
Thanks, Nicholus. So, now that we're all going to have nightmares tonight.
But yeah, it's very engaging and it tells a story and it makes you wonder, like, what is happening here? And then you get audio involved with it and you get sound and it pulls it all together in this amazing animation. And that's
it just draws you in. It makes you wonder, ooh, what's that about? And if you had the words to go along, right?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, if a picture is 1,000 words, then what is animation?
I still think it's 1,000 words. They're just moving.
I don't know. Maybe it's right there.
It does. You can capture similar things with images. I think, you could tell a lot of stories with images. Like just go through a gallery and you're like, look at something. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just watched a whole movie with just one image.
So now, are we going to have digital galleries? And
you know, some there are. I think there was one in my local area where they projected Van Gogh's art on the walls and they actually had it like moving. It was pretty fun. I was like, wow, this looks really cool.
The things we do with art now, I love it.
Yeah, have you seen those those TVs that are just like crystal clear. They'll even put frames around them. And when you're not watching TV, it looks like a canvas.
Like a piece of art in there,
Yeah,
you know. I could
yeah,
see that.
they'll just have a piece of art on it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
Falls off
amazing.
the wall, the dog won't eat it, you know, you're good. Your art is safe.
Well, yeah, maybe not the TV though.
Probably not with my dog.
Yeah. Oh my.
So you get a feel for the storytelling element, right? Things are moving. It's
Yeah.
beautifully done. Colors. I
Thanks.
mean, I wouldn't even know where to start on this. You know, no clue to how you even start, right?
Well, it begs questions like, how is he going to drink that coffee with the helmet on? Like, why is he typing in space? That doesn't. Why does he have a stapler? You know, it asks a lot. Like just with a single image, and then he's falling, and then you're like, wait a minute, what the heck's going on?
But I think that's the fun part with animation is you can have fun.
Oh yeah, like you can be quirky, serious. There's no end to the types of animations that you can create. I mean, just look at film. Film has vast emotions across many different spectrums. It's pretty amazing. So, I mean, our next one is going to be clarity. Now,
Okay.
I loved this when I saw it, and I don't know who made it, but I'm guessing that's their brand, Amanda.
Okay. That's just cute.
Isn't that adorable?
That is adorable. I'm like, I probably need like a little diva with a little crown that they straighten because it always falls sideways.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
See, that would be fun.
So I
Oh my
looked
goodness.
at this, and one, I had the same emotions you did. I was like, wow, that is so cute. But there's so many moments. I've presented my art to someone, and they couldn't even see what I was drawing. Like in this case, you might not notice it's a face. You just think, whoa, it's a heart and a heart. That's pretty cool. Heart and a heart. And I go, you do realize it's like a bear or something, right? And they're like, no way. You can't do that to someone like over the internet. You know, if someone talks about your logo in front of you, you can definitely have that conversation. But where animation can make a big difference is if you've ever had to explain to someone like over and over the same thing, if you find a clever way to animate it, they'll never ever forget that that's a bear. Like no one will ever forget that. And it's adorable. Like look how it draws you in.
What a great way to tie in whatever it is with your logo. Like you said, sometimes people will have logos and you're like, and I look at the name of the company and I look at the logo and I look at the name of the company. I'm like, I have no idea what they do. Right. I'm not quite sure how this ties together, but you know, if you have some kind of animation to kind of help illustrate whatever that is, you could get some clarity on that. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So like, let's say somehow you are like a digital assistant, you know, and you have like a folder of some kind with papers and stuff inside the folder. And you're coming and organizing someone's world, right? And making sure they don't miss things. And so like it could start with like paper scattered and then they all just like land into the folder, feel nice and clean. And then like your name pops on or something like that.
Pops on the front of the folder, right? And they're like, ah.
Oh yeah. Or however your logo lands, like it like finishes your logo. Like in this case, we've got the bear face, and then underneath is the name, so it flies in from the left. But it could fly up, down, left, right. It can fade in, fade out. There's tons of fun things that we could do.
Oh, now my mind's clicking. I was just thinking how much the Veterans Ranch might like something with the veterans and the horses coming together to meet, you know?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Right.
That would look great.
Because what does the Veterans Ranch do? Well, it's not just about ranch and just about it's bringing the veterans together with the horses for the equine therapy, right? So to have something that illustrated that it was more than just a ranch where you hang out, I could see them liking something like that.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah. So clarity. If you're saying the
You
same
got me
thing,
thinking, Nicholas. I'm so sorry.
no, go for it. Go for it.
I'm just thinking about all the B Corps, right? That have that strategy. They have a mission. They have, right, and all the nonprofits, and a lot of times they've got some kind of cause that's important to them, some kind of values that they want to illustrate. And animation is a great way, even on that opening page on your website, to help bring that together and be
Mhm.
like, oh, right.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Okay, I'm totally on board with this, Nicholas. I'm loving this.
that's good. I'm glad. It makes me happy. This stuff gets me stoked. It's weird how just like that little like head movement just brings so much emotion and feeling. You know what I mean?
It's just stinking cute, okay?
And I can keep watching it. This is so
Over
well.
and over. Maybe we
Yeah,
should go to the next one. Everybody else might be tired of looking at it. We
it's
love it
true.
though.
I feel like I can look at it all day. But okay, so first, hold on, I got a cough. So prestige. It if you have a still image, it can look nice, right? And people could like it and be drawn to it. Wonderful. But like even if at the beginning of a video, if this comes on as opposed to something like this, it draws people in more. It engages them. Now it has to be in the right place and at the right time, right? Like we're already talking video. And so this would make sense at the beginning or an end of a video, like tagging it with, hey, I'm Ember Empire. I'm the one who made this animation, that kind of a thing, you know? And like you remember, like if someone plays a song from the end of an episode or even Friends, like if you just start the tagline of Friends, like everyone's in. You know what I mean? Whoever watched Friends, they're like, oh, love that show. Absolutely amazing. And while it's not an animation, the sequence that they did, it has the same idea that you're branding the beginning and ending of your films or your videos or anything that you're doing, whether it's on like YouTube or Instagram or stuff like that. And just a short little animation, it's going to it can create the same effect, especially if your product is just like, then anytime they hear that noise, you're going to be like, oh, that's the bubblegum brand, you know? And I just something up, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking intros and outros, right?
Yeah.
If you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got a podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're teaching classes and you want something to kind of brand for your brand at the beginning and the end of your classes, right? For
Mm-hmm.
online classes.
Yeah.
If you're going on someone else's show and you're a guest on podcast and you want to give them a little intro reel to kind of throw on with some cool animation on there, right? There are so many ways to use that. Oh, you've got me thinking again, Nicholas.
Yeah, even just think of what introed us. It was one of my animations. It actually shocked me. I didn't think it was actually coming, and it popped up. I was like, "Wait, I made that."
It's got to be something fun to be able to see your, your goodies, like just like poof, for everybody to see and admire, right?
Yeah, there have been moments when I was like, "Oh my gosh, how many people are seeing this? It's crazy." I think my stuff has hit so many eyeballs. I don't even know how to count them, if I'm honest.
Right, and we don't always think about who created that, right? And then when you wait to the end of a movie or something, they're running all those credits. There are so many names. I mean, how do you know who did what? I mean,
Did you know? Did you know they don't even put all the names on there?
Oh, because I imagine it would be really, really long, and the credits have gotten longer over the years as it is. But I mean, what do you need to get to qualify to be on the credits?
I think there was like a percentage value. I think it depends on the studio that's producing it, is my understanding. They have their rules that at least that's how one studio of a friend of mine explained it. He said this studio had their rules and he had met the criteria for the rules. And so he was placed in the credits.
Yeah, because that's kind of cool, right? Have your credits somewhere. Ooh.
Anyone who's been in the industry you'll know because they will always watch the credits and they're looking for their friends' names and they're reading through them. And I've met several people. I'm like, all right, let's roll. And they're like, no. I'm like, hey,
We have to wait
no,
for the credits.
We're reading the credits. And I go, oh,
Okay.
all right. What are you looking for? He's like, oh, I know that guy. No way, he made it on the credits. That's awesome. I'm like, who are you?
How many cool artists does it take to put something together? So many.
That's why those budgets are so huge. What was
Right.
it like?
So the time investment, I can't help but look at this and think I wouldn't have a clue where to even start, right? The video, I'm good for talking. You expect me to do more than that on video, we got a problem, right? But this is beautiful. It's simple. It's elegant. You know what I mean? It's eye-catching. How long does it take to put this kind of thing together?
That's a great question. It honestly depends. So if I have to create everything by hand, it takes a lot longer. If I can find someone who made pieces of it for me and I just buy those assets, shove them together and move a camera around, it can move and be a lot cheaper. Like it could be a lot quicker. Yeah, and it really just depends. Sometimes I know I can do something. It's one of those things like I know I can do this. I kind of just have to figure it out though. Do you know what I mean? And so sometimes it's figuring out time more than just like going from point A to point B. It's like a troubleshooting process, you know, like sprinklers. You'll plug this end and then it pops up over somewhere else. So you plug that and it pops up over somewhere else. And you're like, I didn't think that was going to be a problem, but here we are. And
I did a small intro video if I needed it, and you put the words in and the AI does the voiceover and it pops up videos. And even with them putting the videos in, even with us going in and editing the words, that thing took hours to make. This short little like 3-minute video. I'm like, I can't even imagine. It wasn't even that creative, okay? And we weren't building assets just for a little tiny video. I mean, I can't even imagine how long this would take, but
yeah,
yours is so much cooler than mine was.
Oh, thanks. There's something about a human touch. I mean, I can almost spot AI instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can see that. So if you want something custom, there it is, right?
Yeah, most of my clients are like, I couldn't get AI to make this. I'm like, don't worry, I got you.
Exactly. Yeah. As much as it's nice to have access for the artificial intelligence stuff, it's not going to replace real people, right? Because we have skills and talents and things that we can know how to do, right? That the computer isn't necessarily going to be able to do for us. So I love this. This is just fun. And you're right. It does add prestige, right? Someone shows up like even to a website and they see something at the front like this, not just a static photo or your standard video or, you know, this they're like, oh.
Or even imagine your logo doing this. Like it makes a big difference.
Yeah, we may have to do one with a little crown for my little diva one.
Let's do it.
We could have a good time.
Yeah.
So we're going to build prestige. Oh, here we go. And
almost had it. So yeah, prestige, right? And oh no, it doesn't. Here we go. It's starting over. So it can build hype. You see how it's like ready, set, go. And now we're moving. And then we can get somewhere. You know what I mean? Photos, you kind of arrive. You arrived at the experience. And sometimes that's perfect. You know, you're like, you did it. You're here. Look at this beautiful mountainside that like you were able to see and experience. This is actually an animation from a good friend of mine. His name's Cody Bythrow. That I do a lot of work with him. He's a really good, talented animator, and we do all kinds of. I do as many projects as I can with this guy. I just love working with him. But like you notice how it builds up hype. He goes 3, 2, 1, go, and the next thing you know, things are moving, and you're like, oh my gosh! And then you got like, how fast are we going, miles per hour, and all of that jazz. Yeah.
So you can feel the momentum, right? And there's ways where, you can almost feel like if you've ever been, for example, at Disneyland, right? And there's this
Mhm.
one with the ride where you go up in the air and it feels like you're flying because it's got the big screen, right? And there's times that you can do animation and do things where it just feels like you're there and you're in it.
Mhm. Yep. And it can lead one thing into another, because it kind of like, one, the motion captures you, and then two, it can lead you into things because you guide the eye through the whole set. Like this ball gets rolling, and the next thing you know, you're following it all the way around this whole set, and then you loop back to the beginning.
Well, so if you think about things you might want to build hype on, right?
Mhm.
You're trying to get people excited about whether it's a new launch,
Yeah.
a new product that's coming out, a new book, a new course, a new, right, whatever that is that you're trying to really get, ooh, this is going to be fun, right? Because you
Mhm.
could just put up a picture or just the name
Yeah.
of the event, but you got something moving on there that gets them, oh, this is going to be special.
Yeah.
Get back
100%.
to that prestige thing, build the hype along with the prestige all together.
Yeah, animations are a large part of hype building, and that's why a lot of these social media platforms do so well, like with shorts and reels and things like that. They're very, very popular because you can get quick stories told. You can get people stoked about something, and like getting them
Okay,
to like
now,
click those
now you did
buttons.
it again. You did it again, Nicholus. Reels. So, do people do animations and things for the reels and that too?
Oh, are you kidding? Like the big people, like they have probably full-time like real builders. They basically take clips, they put audio, like they take the audio, then they have to write and move. Sometimes it's moving things like this, like 3, 2, 1, go, all the words around. um, if it's not that, then maybe they're animating a like they're illustrating it instead. Like if we were in this podcast, right, or this broadcast, and we're talking, you could have it more alive with us talking about animation, and then have a video of someone actually animating, and then getting like the pages to fall on, and then you could see how it builds, like the old school type of 2D animation, or like just editing videos and stuff. But some things.
So, slice in some video with the talking side and slide in some of the animation on top of that to make it more exciting. That would get people's attention. I could see that.
We've done this with websites as well. So we're basically having a short, like soundless commercial that makes them want to scroll down and see, uh, like what the Chinese ranges are. Do they want it? How awesome is it? How expensive is it? And then trying to get them to click that buy button.
Wow. Okay, so we've built a hype. Do we have more slides? Where are we at in this? I just got
Uh,
lost where
I
we
think
were. I was like, oh my goodness.
hopefully we can hear this, but this is basically a show reel of many different types of animations that I've done.
Oh,
So
well,
if you're
let's
willing,
see.
let me
All
know
right.
if you can't hear it. But here we
Okay.
go. Let's do it.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Does that
Thanks.
just not inspire people to start thinking outside the box? What can I do different? What can I do to make my brand stand out? What can I do to make my business stand out? Oh my goodness, you're blowing my mind here, Nicholas.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm just thinking it. So if we come up with an idea, you'll help us storyboard and figure it out, won't you?
Oh, heck yeah.
So it's
Maybe.
not just the hands-on, you know how to build things, but you understand how to take that concept, flesh it out, and actually build it into something real.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a creative process as well. And a lot of people probably don't know that, but there's a lot of back and forth. So like I've created things and they're like, well, I don't really like blue. And I go, oh, I didn't know that. And then we go back in, take out all the blue, and I go, what about this? And like, it's perfect, you know? And so you'd be shocked at how many back and forths there are just over like round corners opposed to sharp corners, because all those little details, they really make people feel things. Like if you have sharper corners, it feels a little sharper, you know. If it's round, it has a completely like a bubbly, floaty feel, which some people honestly don't want. And so some people do actually really want the cloud feel, you know, floaty clouds. It could be really good for like education. There's all like it has their reasons. And so
Mhm.
it like the colors we pick, the angles, the sharpness, where things are positioned, why they're positioned there, how the camera moves. Like there's so much to it. It's tons of fun too.
Oh my goodness. Well, we've got some questions I see popping up talking about somebody wants to know what was your favorite project that you've worked on? Not to say that you didn't love all the other projects, and we know you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings, but what was your favorite to work on?
My favorite. It might be nostalgia, but I really think PlayStation 4 themes and avatars were probably some of my favorite projects. They were some of the hardest to do. I had to use proprietary software created only by Sony, and there were moments when I was actually animating with like text. It felt like I was like in the early 90s animating things, and I just had to figure it out, and I had complete creative control. And it I think it hit all my buttons of like being super challenging, being super profitable, uh, being super stoked about the product I was making, and the fact that it's out there for so many people to see. And it was probably one of my favorite experiences in regards to projects.
Wait, so you say project. So is that normally how you view things? You're like, okay, I'm going to work on this project, and then you work on another project. You might have a couple projects you're working on the same. It's a project thing, right? It's not like, hey, I need you for an hour.
Yeah, I do consultations. Those are typically in the automation side, though. So I also do automations, but I was mainly pointing towards animation today to hopefully help you guys with
Mhm.
an aspect I don't think most people think of. But my consultations are typically uh, along those lines. I have had some moments where I'm consulting on animation, but those are for animation studios. Like I put together a streamlined process. They were going to 2D animate all these things, but I found a way to make it look 2D but be in 3D, which can save a lot of time. And so I've done those types of things. And yeah, typically whenever I'm dealing with like a client or anyone who wants me to work with them, it's normally project based, because they normally have this one thing that they want to get done, and that's what the project is. You know, it's like I need this goat milk commercial. I'm like, all right, I could 3D model it. We could throw it into some liquid simulation. We can put it in some grass and have a camera run up on it. All kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we bring the idea, and you kind of help figure out, fine tune it, and figure out how to make it into something that we can go, ooh, ah.
Yeah. Sometimes the idea is just, I want this to look pretty, you know, and they have a
I'm okay
product.
with that.
Like I had a guy, he had this multi-tool that goes on your keychain. It could do so many awesome things. And so he was like, what if we showed everyone all the awesome things it could do? I'm like, well, I could 3D model it, and then we can animate those things in beautiful, like almost like Apple iPhone commercial. You know how like that slowly follows the reflection across the iPhone? We did something like that. It looked really good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're giving people ideas on commercials and
Yeah.
ads that they might run. I could see everybody's wheels turning. They're still asking questions in there. So they want to know, how long does it take to complete a project?
Oh, that is so dependent on the project.
That's a trick question, huh?
Yeah. I've had projects that I knocked out in like 2 or 3 hours. I've had projects that have taken me months. I mean, the Kingdom Warriors project, that took many, many months because I had to draw like thousands of assets that then I had to composite together into 8,888 images. And I had to make sure it all lined up right. And there was some of the images would have like, I think like 26 to 30 layers, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. And they all had to line up just right and in the right order and cut other parts out. It is very complicated.
And they say, so if you're wondering why animation, costs a little penny, it could have something to do with those 50 layers going on one object. That could do it.
Yeah.
They're wondering, I see people are asking, they're like, but what if I can't afford them? How much does it cost? Do you have like a starting point where it starts at and goes from there kind of thing?
Yeah, like simple little animations can be $100 to $200. Like I had one that was
just something real quick and small and tiny and just
like some of them had the images already, and so I go, oh yeah, like I take those and then I just move them across the screen. Yeah, I think I charged like $150 for that. And
oh wow! See, most people are thinking, "Oh, this looks really fancy. I could never do this. It probably costs a fortune. I'll never be able to afford it." But now you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can. Maybe I can have something cool across the top of my website, or something cool for an ad that I want to run." Or, yeah.
Essentially, I can make it as cheap as you want, but the hard part is it can look cheap too. And so that's the hard part. Like the image they handed me was clean, it looked good, and so it became easy. Like I was like, oh, I just take these layers and move them across the screen, and I do it nicely, and I can knock that out in a couple hours. $150, everyone's happy. But man, I could charge you 15 grand upwards, and it just depends on how complex. Like fluid simulations like that, the goat milk one.
Yeah, that had the fluids coming up. Yeah.
This is all tracked, and I 3D modeled it and put it into someone else's scene. This is all fake.
As I said, that's not real goat milk.
This is a real brand.
Right. But the liquid coming up is not really goat milk.
Yeah, no. This is all simulated liquid and all that jazz. And so yeah, it can get expensive, like 3D modeling this and making it look hyper realistic. Like I did Chinese ranges, the like cooking ranges where they would put the woks in, like do the wok cooking. That took many, many hours of 3D modeling, but you scroll through the pictures they took and you start wondering which ones are the pictures and which ones are my renders. And that's when you did a good job. They're like, wait, was this the render? And I go, no, that one was the render. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Well, so I'm looking at all this and so who is your ideal client? Who do you normally work with, Nicholus?
My ideal client, there's a couple of avenues. So one, it's someone who just wants to add a little flair to their business. So like maybe they have a mustache logo and they want the mustache to go boop, boop. And like, you know what I mean? Like it just does this like little twitch right before it enters the screen or something. And like, that's not a ton of work, and then they get to look at it and it feels professional, and they get excited about their company and what they're doing for everyone around them. I also have ideal like this when they have a product, and whenever someone shoots a product like this, it can get expensive. But one guy can do it in his office, which is kind of like a closet, but they can do it in their office for less, and it just depends. I've done a lot of product shoots, and that's a good ideal client for like commercials and stuff like that. Illustrations, I do beautiful illustrations. I just finished one that was a VBS contract, and it's going to be distributed to like 3,000 churches, and it's going to be put on a whole bunch of boxes and all kinds of stuff. It was super cool. It was a beautiful illustration too. And so that was a lot of talking. Ideal client, someone who wants a little more flair in their website, the beginning of their videos, right? So a little more flair, products, animating the products, and storytelling. I think if you have a hard time, storytelling, if you have a hard time telling the story, we could animate it. And I think the final one, and I think this might be one of the biggest ones, is if you've found that you've said the same thing over and over again. Like there's a time I was teaching charter schools, and they'd be like, so digital art. And I was teaching digital art. They're like, so is that like how does that work? Do you have like digital paint? And I go, I think I need to make a video because you're like the 50th person who asked me that. And so I made a video of like, what is digital art? And then I basically just animated what digital art is. And then I haven't had anyone ask me ever since I made that video. And so I've actually probably saved a whole lot more time than I put into it, because you just get so many of those phones. So digital art, what is that? Oh no, I don't want that. And you're like, well, I just wasted time. I don't even own a computer.
We're talking old school now. Oh, I love this. The audience is really having a good time too. I can tell from all their questions. Well, so if they want to reach out to you and they want to find out more about how they can bring more digital art, animation, fun stuff into their branding, their business, their marketing, whatever it is that they're doing. Heck, even if it's a wedding anniversary or a birthday party. I mean, you could do stuff that's fun for people too. It doesn't have to be for a business, right?
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be for a business. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm doing one for someone's trying to run campaigns in their local. I don't know what it's called. Apparently, I know nothing about the government.
I was just thinking of like the school boards and that kind of stuff, little campaigns and things that could illustrate what you stand for, let alone all the politics stuff, right? There's sky's the limit. I'm just going to say the sky's the limit. If they want to reach out to you, Nicholus, let's tell them how to reach out to you so they can continue the conversation, because we're going to have to land this plane. Wow, we were having way too much fun today. We don't even have time to bring in the rest of the crew to come ask questions. Sorry, guys. Next time, you're going to have to reach out to Nicholus separate too.
Unfortunately, my slides isn't working. I have a final slide, but it's not popping
we'll
up.
Pop it out. Maybe you can refresh and pop it back in. What, you don't have it animated? What?
Right. It is legitimately stuck. Hold on.
It's because we were playing videos all this time, right? An hour of video. It's on break now.
All right, I think I figured it out. Present. Screens.
Because now you've got everybody waiting in suspense going, Nicholus, I want to talk to you about this. How do I get a hold of you? Here it is.
There you go. So at the bottom, you can see my website, and then you can see my Instagram handle. You can DM me on Instagram, but also at my website, you'll be able to not only see a lot of stuff I've done, you can scroll down to the contact me section, and we can, you can get in touch. You can get my email address at the bottom as well.
Awesome. So Ember Empire.com. So that's EMBER Empire.com. And then if we want to find you on Instagram, it's, what is that? The Ember Empire?
Yeah. Someone had Ember Empire.
I know they're always getting in the way, those other people. Why are they there?
Well, I'm the Ember Empire.
That's right. So that's like, I'm the networking diva. So I hear you. That changes everything. I'm just saying.
It does. So
you have the Ember Empire. You can go in there, take a look at what he's working on. It might be fun to follow him just to kind of check out and see what he's up to. And I think you're always adding new stuff to your site, right? Then Yeah, so you get new ideas, right? So let your brain, just let it open up and just let it go wild. Have a conversation. So if they want to have a conversation with you, you want them to just reach out and send you a message and be like, hey.
Oh, yeah. And you can email me too. It's at the bottom of my website, my email address.
Now, did you have something you were giving away to our audience today?
I do. So we didn't talk much about automation. It's not doing it again. But I will give you a free automations audit. It basically is going to, I'll talk through the automations you have set up, and we will basically dissect areas where you can save time. If you're not, if you are like, man, I can't keep my schedule, I can't keep up with this many people hitting me up or texting me, I can't keep it all organized. How do I make sure that someone knows when our appointments are? How do I, basically, if you need two things to communicate to each other, like how do I know that this form is actually connected to this thing? I could probably handle that for you. So we can do a free audit, take a look at ways that we can cut some corners for you, save you some time, some energy, and some stress.
So basically, you're all about making things move smooth.
Yeah, that's a great one.
There it is. That's Nicholus. So reach out to him, check out his website, go down there, contact him, emberempire.com. And Nicholus, thank you so much for coming on and being part of the broadcast today. We have just had so much fun with you. Hopefully you've opened everybody's eyes on the possibilities. They're thinking outside the box now, and they're ready to have fun and get creative. So I think you've inspired some people today.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, Christine.
Absolutely. So we wanted to say thank you to everybody for joining us for the broadcast today. This is our Tuesday marketing broadcast. Giver Marketing does it every Tuesday. We have a new topic. So come join us again, same time next week. And don't worry about Wednesdays, because if you have nothing to do, actually, you want to come hang out with us, even if you do have something else to do, because we're that much fun. So on Wednesdays, we have networking for marketers. So if you are a marketer like Nicholus, you're out there designing things, or maybe you're writing emails, you're designing websites, whatever it is that you do. If you're a marketer, you don't have to market alone. Come hang out with us and join us on Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and run that across so everybody knows when to join us. So 8 a.m. on Pacific time, that's 10 Central, 11 Eastern. So register at givermarketing.com/networking. Register once, save the link, and come hang out with us, because we like to have fun together. All right, y'all. Thank you. Say goodbye. Bye.